Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. And this time, in keeping with our Halloween spooky October month, we're going to take a little look at I, Vampire. This is the House of Mystery presents I, Vampire number 312 from 1983. Yes. What's spookier than a vampire, except maybe a ghost? And this could have both. And maybe you're unfamiliar with I, Vampire. I'm not very familiar with him. I think this is the only issue that I've got with I, Vampire, with him in there. If I have any others, I don't know of them off the top of my head. And I didn't read it at the time this was being issued. But here we see, we've got a really nice cover drawing by Mike Kalutta. I don't know if you can see it, but his line work here is very rough in the backgrounds in the tombstones and stuff, because this is images in an old cemetery, and all the stonework and everything looks very, very rough and worn, the way the line work is done, without any straight edges or anything to make it sharp. So it's really, really rough and worn looking. And here, of course, to go with the theme, we got the bats, and we've got the black cats, and we've got the rats. Oh yeah, see the rats there, and then even a bunch of snakes. So all kinds of stuff going on in that image. Okay, and I, Vampire. This is it's a series created for DC Comics, created by J.M. DeMatteis and Tom Sutton. Ooh, we know Tom Sutton. We've talked about him a few times, and he did a lot of the horror stuff for Charlton in the 70s. Did his share of stuff for both Marvel and DC in the 70s as well. Okay, and the character is Andrew Bennett, who is a vampire, and he's telling his own story because it's all in first person. And it started as a backup feature in House of Mystery from 81 to 83. And to eventually become the lead feature, which it is here. And later on, had his own miniseries and stuff. And he later, in a later incarnation, he was part of Justice League Dark. So therefore, we know he exists inside the main DC superhero universe. And just like I, Zombie is as well, and pop up and interacting with superheroes, and that's fine. I just prefer them to mostly stay in their own wheelhouse, and only occasionally to these kind of supernatural characters to occasionally, when necessary, veer into the other realms. And the same thing goes for Marvel. So I don't have any big problem like with Spider-Man and Dracula, for example. Occasionally interacting, or other superheroes occasionally, but it's something you don't want all the time. You don't want those kind of spooky type creations to cross over into the main superhero universe too much. Okay, in this issue, it's written by Dan Mishkin and Gary Cohn, with art by Adrian Gonzalez and Tom Sutton. Now, funny thing is that one of the very, very minor character in this series here. One of the characters, though, is his name is Mishkin. His main name is Dmitry Mishkin. I have to wonder if the writer Mishkin inserted himself or a family member into the story. But it's only a very small part, at least in this story. Okay, and of course, being House of Mystery, we start off with our horror host Kane. Extreme closer. That's too close. And then he starts telling the story. Of course, then everything switches to first person, and we see this subway train going down the tracks, and suddenly this horrible hand crashes through the window, grabs the operator, and pulls him out, which causes a derailment. The thing in the tunnels. Ooh. And then we go to the story of our Andrew Bennett, and he has just recently returned to New York. He was on some other doing something else, trying to. Because he fights vampires. He is a vampire who fights vampires. Which maybe he was a partial inspiration for Angel, the vampire with a soul from Buffy, and then the Angel spinoff. And he's canoodling with this lady. What is her name? I don't see it. Deborah, and he's canoodling and talking about, here comes the Michigan guy. And whoops, in the green suit, he comes in and he says something about something in the paper. Subway disaster, 8 dead, and the trainman is missing. And they get to talking. Says the subway tunnels would be a perfect place for a nest of vampires to hide out in darkness all the time, etc., etc. So he goes down into the subway, but his area's blocked off, and got the workers trying to clean up the mess and stuff. And he uses his vampiric powers and turns into a mist, gets past him, goes down the tunnels, and because he's looking for that missing driver. And finally he sees light, he batifies and flaps down there, sees a lady with a flashlight, returns to his human form. Yes, there is the dead train operator, and turns out she is a reporter down there investigating. And he says, okay, well it's safer for you if I'm here, because this may be dangerous. And they see that he's been drained of blood, but his body has been crushed as well. So they go on down there, because he's still thinking vampires. We said vampires don't normally do that. And then they hide when they see this other group of people coming down there, some kind of, and they're armed, and their uniforms denote them as from Barr Research Laboratory. So what's the deal with that? And they get farther down, they're hiding from them, and just they go back to looking, and whoop, she's snatched by what the heck is this? And it's walking on the ceiling. What kind of critter is that? He is in a coat. What kind of man is that? He batifies again, and because he's going too fast for him on foot, catches him, returns human, and they get down to fight. Says, oh, it has to protect the lady. Oh, he gets really vampy. And then the guy removes his restraining garments, and he's some kind of, horrifying looking bug critter with compound eyes, 6 limbs, and attacks. And they fight and fight, but even though he's doing well, he still gets stung and envenomed somewhat. Meanwhile, while he's distracted, the lady grabs the pipe and clunks the crazy critter, knocks it unconscious, and then they see it's dead. He was surprised that it was killed so easily. And then they see a tag on the wrist of the critter from Barr Research Laboratories. Realize it. Somehow, whatever this critter is, it's man-made, and it has nothing to do with vampires. Says, well, then suddenly, what is that light? The guards have heard all the noise, and they have come back. And they're drawn down on him, says, I'd like to suggest that you do so without protest or sudden movements, since I'd really hate to be responsible for what might happen otherwise. Dun, dun, dun. So they're taken prisoner by these guys. And what happens? I have no idea. But it's spooky vampire stuff. And it's even more like some of the stuff from Angel. But it's all vampire-y, and it's spooky. And they had some decent, nice artwork by these guys. Of course, Tom Sutton's involved. He does a lot of good spooky stuff. And he's just doing the inking, I think. But, well, not just, but it really helps. And perfectly adequate. I mean, well done. That's very well done. I don't know if I could have done that. Showing the derailing and the expressions and everything. Oh, it's really nice artwork. And it's just a chapter in a longer storyline. I wish I had more, but I enjoyed it. And if I get a chance, I'll get some more. So that's all I've got for you this time for Halloween Spooky Month. So please like, share, and subscribe. Share it with your other spooky-minded friends. And leave a comment. Have you read I, Vampire before? Do you know more about it than I do? Was it as good as it seems to promise here? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, comics are art.